Georgia's Attorney General is jumping into a fight over gun laws in Savannah. An ordinance passed in 2024 requires people to lock up their weapons if they're keeping them inside of their vehicle. Chris Carr, who's running for governor in 2026, is joining critics who say that it's illegal for efforts to restrict gun rights. And he's supporting a lawsuit against the measure. Joining me now is John Acevedo of 11Alive Law. And welcome back to the show, John.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. What about this ordinance is an issue for local Republicans?
Well, the ordinance is interesting. It doesn't target gun ownership or carrying. It's interesting non-carrying. So the state of Georgia protects the right to bear arms in the state constitution and gives the power to create laws to the state legislature. So what we're seeing here is a local city trying to pass this ordinance. It's a misdemeanor to make it illegal to leave the gun in the car.
Mm-hmm. Have you read the Attorney General's brief? Do you know what his claim is?
Yeah, his claim is fairly straightforward. It's that this really won't reduce any crime. That essentially, you're punishing the person who is perhaps naive. I mean, a lot of us leave things in our cars unlocked that maybe we shouldn't: cell phones, purses, computers, and there's kind of a thought among a lot of people you shouldn't punish the victim of the crime. Obviously, the person who loses the gun, they didn't give it away. It was stolen from them.
Gotcha. Does the city of Savannah have the ability to pass a law like this?
It's an interesting gray area. Technically speaking, the state legislature has the power is the only group that has the power to create laws about the carrying of guns under the state constitution. And Savannah's argument will be they're not discussing the carrying of guns, but the storage of guns and where guns are left. And they point to the fact that I believe something like 80% of all gun thefts in the city of Savannah were from unlocked cars where the gun was visible. So if you think about it, someone who leaves a gun in a glove box in an unlocked car would not be subject to their law. Someone whose gun is in a locked car would not be subject to the law. It really is trying to get kind of the most careless of gun owners to get their guns slightly more secured. So that would be Savannah's argument: is this is not about open carry. This is not about ownership. This is about kind of taking care of what is a dangerous weapon in the end.
Yeah. Have we seen regulations or gun regulations like this pop up before?
The city of Chicago tried something like this a few years ago. It was also highly unpopular. There's something that the public doesn't like about punishing victims of crime. Again, the person who loses their gun has been the victim of a crime. Mm-hmm. We don't expect people to open our cars and take things from it. That said, my car was broken into a few months ago, and the first thing someone told me was, oh, they were looking for a gun. Was it unlocked? And I said, yeah, I left my car unlocked. I didn't have a gun, but apparently it is a fairly common occurrence, common enough that district attorneys and public defenders I've talked to immediately, if you say your car was broken into but nothing taken, go to they were looking for a gun.
All right, John, I want you to stand by here for a minute. We're going to go over to the Okay, I thought we were going to a press conference, but let me ask you this. Are there any cases, or do you have any insight on any cases that could give us some insight of what could happen here?
So it's interesting. We have seen some recent prosecutions of parents who were negligent in the storage of their guns and their children used them for shootings. It would be an interesting path to go down to see if that might be a solution, where instead of trying to criminalize it, we turn to tort law or negligence law as a way to encourage gun owners to secure their weapons.
How does this speak to Georgia's gun culture as a whole?
It's interesting that so many people would leave guns in the car, and I think what it speaks to is people feel more safe with the guns near them, but there's so many businesses and schools where you're not allowed to carry the gun that what we're seeing is folks taking them off their body, as they should, when they go into a store that says no guns, but then not securing it. So I think it kind of points to a laxness, and perhaps the way to really handle this would be more gun training on gun safety, gun handling for our gun owners that could be provided, and that might be a better use of state funds.
Yeah. What's the next steps here in the legal process?
Next steps will probably be a motion to dismiss by the city of Savannah. That probably won't succeed because there is, again, a state constitutional protection for the right to bear arms. At which point we'll either likely see some form of settlement. I would be surprised if this went all the way to trial.
All right. Professor Acevedo, really appreciate you joining us. Appreciate your insight as well.